Hey guys, so today I want to go over the strongest merc in the entire game, and that is of course the Doriani's merc. So this chest piece right here, where it essentially says nearby enemies have light and resist equal to yours. Very strong. A lot of people are using this. I want to go over my setup and how to make your merc pretty much immortal. I played for 10 hours yesterday. My merc only died once in that 10-hour play session, doing the most rippy maps you could possibly do. And the only reason why he died is because he stayed on Cyrus degen ground, which disables all regen. So more or less, it was very unfortunate because if he just moved once, he would have lived. But yeah, pretty much my merc is immortal or near immortal as you can get. The only thing that can kill him and can kill any merc in the game is that Cyrus degen because it does disable all regen. Yeah, this chest piece is absolutely insane. As you can see here, I have negative 20% electrum resist. I'm actually overcapped for shrines and my purity of elements as well. And I have all other cap resist, slightly off chaos cap resist. Compared to some other mercs, we're only at like 1.1k life regen, not that high. And the reason why is I'm going for recoup rings. So yeah, I'll explain the whole setup and everything about this and what you can use for like other mercs as well. So of course, it's Doriani's, the negative 20% life resist. The big pieces here to keep him alive is Defiance of Destiny. A 24% roll is ideal, but any roll is fine. The light resist is fine because I'm overcapped my rings. But this amulet alone is a massive defense boost for your merc. I think it's somewhere around like 10 divines. You probably like divine it yourself a little bit. But without this amulet, you would just die to shotguns all the time and stuff like volatiles. This amulet completely saves him. It's definitely the biggest piece here for survivability, if you're wondering. Besides that, we have the replica Alberon's Warpath tech. Essentially, this makes your merc immune to Elioflect or Fizzreflect because you cannot deal non-chaos damage. The other option is Wilma's. It's a cheaper option, but Alberon's is better, namely because it also gives chaos resist, so it has some benefit there as well, and it can still deal damage, which can be important for some merc abilities as well. Yeah, this is the best option to solve reflect. If your merc is time reflect, pick up one of these. It is very well worth it. And then the other biggest important piece here, that's also the most expensive piece, is the ring. So this ring I created myself, costed roughly 40 to 50 divines at current prices. It's a 2-prop helical reflected ring, so it has 156% light to resist, negative, and 43% damage taken recoup as life. This is then reflected through Calandra's touch, so it's negative 30% light to resist, and 86% of all damage taken are recouped as life. Extremely strong. This combined with Defiance of Destiny is why I'm personally not focusing on life regen anymore, because this is effectively life regen, and this is also another way effectively life regen. So yeah, this ring is extremely strong and does cost 40 to 50 divines to make, but it's just the fracture. If you get the fracture, this is guaranteed to make. If you get a 2-prop ring and you reflect it, you're going to get 1 positive, 1 negative. So this is a guaranteed outcome because you get 2 rings. So one will be positive light and resist, and the other one will be negative. Besides that, I do have high armor, both helmet and gloves. High armor is ideal because armor does help negate the light and damage from your Doriani's, as that's the other Doriani effect. Armor also applies to light damage taken from hits. So we have a high armor helmet. I do want like a high armor helmet. You can get like 2.3k, 2.4k, and then high armor gloves. I do have life regen here because there's like nothing else to get. In terms of implicits on the gloves, for my build, there really is nothing to get on implicits. Maybe I should get like, I don't know, cast speed or attack speed or something. I didn't know what else to get here. You can definitely get like corruption gloves instead. Maybe get like enfeeble on hit. But if you do get something like an enfeeble on hit, just keep in mind it won't work if you're also using a curse yourself. So yeah, I could definitely probably get better gloves. I think the helmet is pretty ideal. So the helmet has increased life regen, and the implicits are very strong. So enemies you hit recently have reduced life regen. Essentially gives the same effect as Frost Bomb. Pretty useful during very tanky Maven maps, as it'll just completely negate Maven's heal. And then damage taken recoup as life with like, resist and life. So as you can see here, we're still fully resist cap. And most of the resist does come from the gloves and comes from the boots and Defiance of Destiny. Past that, we have Calm Spindon. I think this overall is the best belt, mainly because not only does it help keep your merc alive, but it also gives you defense as well. A lot of people use Mortal Flesh. This is a nice budget option to use. The life regen is nice early on if you don't have a high recoup ring or Defiance of Destiny. As you can see, the life regen does go up quite a bit. It goes to about 1700 there, but it doesn't really do anything but life regen. While Calm Spindon, nearby enemies convert 25% of his damage to fire. It's a massive defense increase for both you and your merc. So I do think Calm Spindon is the best in slot here. The other option, which I do have as well, is a String of Servitude. A String of Servitude, you can get 1 aura effect implicit, pretty big, 60% increased wrath effect. But my damage on this build personally is already so extremely high that I'd rather have more defense and utility than a little bit more damage that probably won't do anything. So I do think Calm Spindon is the best here. Then as for my weapons, these are pretty big. I have 2 of these scepters, which is 15% increased area effect and 40% increased aura effect of wrath. I believe you can also get Zealotry and Hatred here as well, and maybe Haste. But you can get a few different auras here depending on which type of merc you are using. For me, Wrath is the best one, and this does increase your Wrath from your merc if he is using it. Also to note, the increased area effect is also extremely good because this increases the range of your merc. So if you have 2 of these scepters for 30% increased area effect, your auras will actually never fall off of you. It'll be big enough range to where it'll always be hitting you. So yeah, these scepters are very, very nice, very easy to make. Essentially, you get Awakener's Orb, and you combine Wrath Aura Effect and increased area effect with a few different area effect mods, and that's it. Very, very simple to make. You can also make Hatred and Zealotry as well. Some other options is also using a Dawnbreaker, or your more expensive is a Fallen. I don't know what type of content you'll need that for. Like I said, I'm doing the most rippiest maps possible, where I'm doing like 5x Risk Scarabs. And for 5x Risk Scarabs, tier 17s are extremely deadly. They have multiple as action modifiers, negative resist, etc. Right? So I don't know what type of content you'll need Dawnbreaker in, but if your merc is dying, you can try out Dawnbreaker. A more expensive option would be Savalon as well. But yeah, I can comfortably play with 2x Scepters because of this Recoup Ring and the Amulet, namely. These are the 2 biggest pieces. If you don't have this big expensive Recoup Ring, like I said, the most expensive piece, then you might need to use Dawnbreaker. You might need to use a Mortal Flesh for like more life regen, and the land damage converted taken as fire helps a lot with the Doriani negative. You can also, as a side note, you can get a Malediction Helmet, which makes enemies take 10% increased damage, and they deal 10% less damage. I probably might get a Malediction Helmet eventually. I don't really need more damage, but the 10% less damage might be pretty handy. The problem is with that helmet is that you don't really get it on a good base. You have to use like some crappy unique helmet. It's from the Ultimatum unique helmet. I can showcase it here. But yeah, these helmets right here, nearby enemies have Malediction. These are very good effect, but the helmets you get them on are pretty trash. So I might get it if I can get a good one. If not, I'm not going to worry about it because I'd rather have my merc survive than deal a little bit more damage, because if my merc survives, I have like infinite damage anyway. Also, just to quickly show how much damage is this merc actually giving me. So like I said, my merc pretty much never dies. It is near mortal. And so this damage uptime is pretty much close to 100%. Just to let you know, Doriani's is a 6 meter range. 6 meters is quite generous. I can show right here what 6 meters looks like. So 6 meter range is roughly a little bit less than this. So it is quite big. It's almost full screen. You want to have for like every single boss, like any array that lives for more than like half a second. So the Doriani range is extremely consistent. So let's go to the configs. How much damage is my merc giving me? So first things first, my merc's going to be both Zealotry and Wrath. 114% increased aura effect, and then 25% of fizz damage taken as fire, and then negative 200% lightning resist. So even just turn off this lightning resist by itself, as you can see here, I go from 356 mil DPS to 69 mil DPS. And then if we turn off Zealotry and Wrath here as well, yeah, we go to 26 mil DPS. And this doesn't even count like the utility he's giving me as well. So yeah, the merc gives you an absolute stupid amount of damage when you set it up properly. It gives you so much more damage, more power creep than any other league pretty much combined, because negative 200% lightning resist combined with 2 free auras is just an absolutely insane amount of power. It's something like a 14 times damage multiplier for my character. Just really, really insane. Yeah, if you're not playing a Lightning build, or if you don't know how to set up Doriani character, do it. It's an insane damage cost. That's a pretty low investment to set up. I think you set up a pretty good Doriani merc for like less than 20 divines. If you want to go high investment like me, then it will more so be like 100 or 80 divines, but it is worth it. If you have 100 divines to spend 50 divines on your merc and 50 divines on your character, because your merc gives you the absolutely stupid amount of damage. But yeah, that's about it for this video. I want to make a short video. This is probably the strongest merc in the league that you can make, because Doriani's is completely busted. It's a massive damage multiplier for any Lightning build. It's why Lightning builds are the single best builds this league. But yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. But yeah, Doriani merc is extremely good.